All right, today we have to talk about how functions move. All right, there are some tricks in the world that we can do when functions are even, odd, or neither. All right, an even function, the easiest way to describe an even function is a function that perfectly mirrors from the first quadrant across the y-axis into the second quadrant, all right? Or it mirrors across the y-axis. It can go also third to fourth. One of my favorite even functions is y equals x squared, all right? A parabola is an even function, all right? Because every value over here, if I plug in positive 1, do you guys agree I get 1? And over here, if I plug in negative 1, I still get 1. And that's mirrored across the y-axis, all right? So, there's a rule here. If I plug in 2, I get 4. If I plug in negative 2, I also get 4. Well, you guys agree 4 equals 4? And I just said f of 2 equals f of negative 2. This is the general rule. What happens if I plug in negative x? Do I get f of x? What's negative x times negative x? x2. What's the function? x2. Are those the same?
Yes. Yeah.
That is an even function. Can you guys think of another even function maybe for us to talk about?
X to the fourth.
X to the fourth is a good example.
Z.
And I don't have to graph it.
Mariah Reese and Sarah Reese to the office, please. Mariah and Sarah Reese, would you please report to
All right.
the office?
How about x to the fourth x squared? If I test g negative x,
What if we just said all the even exponents?
and maybe that's why it's called even. All right. Listen, do we agree this is x to the fourth plus x squared? So when you do, you do g of negative x. What do you see that? Do we agree that g of negative x and g of x are the same? This is an even function. When you check, it will mirror then across the y-axis. And the nice part is then you only have to graph one side. You automatically know once you graph this, the side to the right of the y-axis, it'll be the same on the left. It'll mirror across, all right?
Tyler doesn't like mirrors.
All right. For good reason. All right, so. All right, so what do you think I'm going to use for an odd function?
X cubed.
X cubed. We could do that one.
Or just regular x.
We probably could just do regular x. We'll do x cubed first. Y equals x cubed. It is an odd function. It's a power function because it's just x to the third, all right? X squared is a power function, x4 is a power function. It's just x to an integer is a power function. All right? Evens make some short shape of a parabola. Odds do some sort of pattern like this, all right? Now, what do we get for positive 1? You guys all agree that it's 1? What do we get for negative 1? We get negative 1. What happens when I plug in 2? I get 8. Do we all agree? 2, 8? Yeah. What happens when I get negative 2? I get negative 8. So here's the key. We notice that when we change the sign of the x value, what happens to the y value? Changes sign. So how do I write that in terms of function notation? I write f of negative x is equivalent to f of negative f of x. All right. The good news is we can use the same test. You substitute in negative x. So if I put negative x into x cubed, negative x cubed, what do we get?
Negative x.
Negative, negative, negative is a negative x cubed. Is that the opposite of the function?
Yes.
Yes. Because what is the function? The function, whoops. The function is x cubed. Do we all agree? The negative's here, the function's x cubed. X cubed is odd. So, let's think about this. Let's check another one. How about this one? G of x is equal to x cubed plus 2. is that gonna be odd?
Depends.
Depends on what?
Yes.
Yes, no, maybe, I have no idea.
Well, if it's -1, wouldn't it be? If you pick -1 for
If you
x.
put 1 in there, do you get 3?
Anything below negative.
And if you put -1 in there, do you get -3?
No.
Uh-oh. Alright, so let's check it the other way. G of -x. If I plug in -x, I get -x cubed plus 2. If I want to see if it's the same, I factor the negative out. Is it the opposite of the function?
Yes. No.
Why not? Is it the opposite of the function? Is this negative g of x? What is g of x, everybody?
No, it's not.
X cubed
Plus 2.
plus 2. What's this?
X cubed minus.
X cubed minus 2. Are these the same? No. So it's not odd. Is it even? We plugged in negative x. Did we get positive g of x here?
No.
Because an even function is this, right? We agreed before we went on that this is an even function.
No, you do not get the same thing.
So this is not even, this is
No,
not
it's
odd.
neither.
It's neither. And I'll tell you right now, the graph of x cubed, goes like this through the origin. Well, what does adding 2 do to this curve, do you think?
Moves it
What's
up.
it over to?
Not over.
Up.
Up.
On the Y.
Because,
Oh, yeah.
so I want you to think about this though. And I told you it mirrors from the first to third quadrant, right? It mirrors across a line y equals -x. It mirrors across this line. Obviously, when you shift this curve, it doesn't make a difference. So hang on, let's go back to an even function. What if we shift an even function? H of x equals x squared plus 2. Is that going to be even, odd, or neither, you think then?
I think that will be.
I know for sure that.
I think it's even.
Even?
It'll be either even or odd, so.
All right, let's check it with our rule. Substitute in -x. You substitute in -x squared plus 2. What happens to a negative squared?
Oh,
Positive. Do you guys agree this is h of x?
Yes. There, look at that. It's
It is.
even.
You know why it's even?
because it.
I see an x on the 2. What x do I see on the 2? X to the what power?
Dosages.
Dosages.
I think it's this.
Oh, one is.
Okay. So.
Okay.
And that means
Well, what are 2 and 0?
7.
What kind of numbers?
Even.
Even. Let's go back a
is zero
page.
technically an even number?
So.
0 is absolutely even. So when you look here, what do you have? Odd and
Even, so it's
even, so it's neither.
So
Let's
you
go
have-
back another page.
So if you have 3x and x, would it be even then?
No, it'd be
Yeah.
You
odd.
gotta go back.
Oh,
So give me the function. I want a 3-term function that someone thinks is odd. That's not too big. A 3-term function.
Okay, that'd be even. Because
X to the
No,
power.
it wouldn't.
x
Yeah, why?
cubed
No, because the one we did was like x would be like the
X
same
cubed.
thing.
unless you had a negative.
plus x minus 3. 3.
You think?
Well, I don't know.
X
Two.
squared plus, or x squared plus x
Minus 1.
minus 1.
I will tell you right now, this is neither.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's 0, it's 0,
Because this is, what's the power here?
3,
3. What's the power here?
1.
What's the power here?
0.
0.
Oh, I see. So x.
So how about we try minus x to the 5th? All right, let's check our rule. Substitute negative x.
That's odd.
Negative x cubed plus negative x minus negative x to the 5th. Negative x plus negative x minus a minus x to the 5th. Can I factor out the one of the negatives? X cubed plus x minus x to the 5th. Is it the opposite of the function? Can I put f of x here in place of that?
Yeah.
So for it to be even, all of the exponents have to be even, and for it to
So
be
that
odd,
one's even
all the
then?
exponents
So
have
this
to be
one,
odd.
so this one is odd,
Odd.
because in this
Because it
case,
stayed the same.
no, because it didn't say the same. It changed sign. Look, this is f of x here, Brandon,
Yeah.
and there's a negative in front of it.
Oh, well, yeah.
This is the odd test.
That's redundant.
This is the even test. And either way, you use negative x to do the test. All right. So in the book, it's just going to tell you to do odds or evens. Now listen, can you do this without substituting? Yes. You need to practice the substituting. On
All
the
we have
test,
to
I
do-
will make you.
All we have to do is say if it's even or not.
Yep.
Odd.
And you have to show the proof.
Okay, and so like, what's one that it's neither again?
Okay.
If it's like one.
How about x squared plus x? Now let's prove it. If I factor in f of negative x, you agree it's negative x quantity squared plus negative x when you put negative x in here? All right. What's the square of negative x? X squared minus x. All right. You either have to get the original function, okay, Brandon, for an even?
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree this is not the original function?
Right.
Correct.
Or you have to, for the odd, get the opposite of the original function. So if I factor out a negative,
Minus.
is this exactly the same as this?
No.
No. It has a sign problem on the first term. So it's not odd, it's not even.
It's neither.
It's neither.
Is it neither or neither?
I usually say neither.
It's neither.
But like.
But Matt
like either
Matt
or.
is big man on
Either.
campus, so we'll probably do whatever he tells us.
Not
All right.
bad.
No, he's a really smart man.
So, on your desks,
That's right.
Whatever you wanna say.
on your desk, and I'm going to do this one